Alright guys, so in the last video we introduced our front wheel drive versus rear wheel drive series. Today is going to be the dyno comparison. So if you guys don't remember, I'm going to remind you that the Talon, which is our front wheel drive test subject, is a car that we built about a year ago. It had a LS4 with a turbo, with a 4T80E, which is basically a front wheel drive turbo 400. And when we ran that car on the dyno, it made 650 horsepower at 14 pounds of boost. So today we're going to run our rear wheel drive test subject, which is a aluminum 5.3 with the same cylinder heads and the same camshaft as we ran on the Talon. I'm really interested to see how the test results shake out, so without further ado, let's get onto the dyno. Alright guys, I wanted to take a moment to briefly discuss this most recent dyno pool. So this is our comparison point with the Talon. As I mentioned earlier, the Talon made 650 wheel horsepower on 14 pounds of boost, and we just did this most recent pool at 14 pounds of boost on the Sunbird. You'll notice that it made significantly less horsepower than the Talon did, and this supports the claim that I made in previous videos about a front-wheel drive drivetrain tending to be more efficient. Now, one big difference between the two cars is the Talon had an intercooler and the Sunbird does not. So not having an intercooler on the Sunbird is definitely going to put it at a disadvantage. However, we can use math to equalize the playing field. 14 pounds of boost at 185 degrees is not going to be the same as 14 pounds of boost at 160 degrees. Fortunately, or unfortunately, however you look at it, the Talon had a pretty crappy intercooler on it. So it was close to 160 degrees on the manifold air temps. Therefore, when you calculate the manifold air density, you'll find that actually this next pool that you're about to see, where we made 15.5 pounds of boost and 184 degrees in the manifold, is a better comparison point to compare the two cars, so make sure you're paying attention to the next pool. Now that we got our comparing out of the way, we decided to push the Sunbird a little bit further and just see how much power the car could make. We didn't really do this with the Talon because we figured 650 horsepower on a front-wheel drive was plenty. So let's crank the boost. Guys, that was a really interesting test. So as you saw, we got to our 14 psi comparison point on the Sunbird relatively quickly, and we saw that it made 598 horsepower. The Talon, however, made 650 horsepower. So the Talon made 50 more horsepower. This definitely supports my claim that front-wheel drive drivetrains are more efficient than rear-wheel drive drivetrains, but I wasn't expecting 50 horsepower. I think we can account for some of this 50 horsepower just in all the differences between the two. Overall, I think we proved our point that a front-wheel drive drivetrain is more efficient than a rear-wheel drive drivetrain, but we don't know exactly how much more efficient it is. That being said, I think it was a very interesting comparison, and I hope you think so too. In the next video, we will be running this car at the track and comparing it to the track performance of the Talon. So look forward to that in the next video. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.